Hey guys, welcome back to another interview here on Toned In Entertainment today. Oh man, yes, I'm excited because Monteasy is here on the podcast. How you doing, my man?
My man Tony, how you doing, brother? Thank you for having me on, man. I'm on the other side today. I'm used to hosting, so now I get to actually sit back and answer some good questions. So
It,
I'm happy. I'm relaxed. I've been waiting for this all day, so I'm
it's
happy.
always it's always weird, isn't it? Because I've only done one on the other side. It's definitely a little weird.
Yeah, I'm used to it on both ends now. Obviously, with content nowadays, everybody's doing content or they're guessing everybody else's content. So it's good to actually be on the other side again. It's fun.
Yeah, because you are a man of many hats. You're out there rapping, producing, podcasting. Where you find time for everything else?
Man, it's hard, bro. But you know what? You got to do it, and that's the thing. It's a grind. Each and every day, you put your time in. You have to put in the work, and you have to be a man or a woman today of multi talents. I believe today you have to be able to do many things and multitask better than ever. Now more than ever, with the way the world is. So I find myself finding time to spend time with my kids, my family, go touring. I pick my tour dates very carefully. And I really focus on the goal each and every day. I focus on something. There's something that I could do that can make me improve. Whether it's the podcast, studying, music, doing motivational speaking. So there's a lot of different things that I got my hands and hats in. But I do find time to do everything. I just have to really schedule out on how I do it.
Now, how I found out about you was last year. You were going to perform at a Generation Championship Wrestling show in Tampa, Florida, and you were going to perform for somebody that you've actually done their theme song for, and that's the Queenpin, Katalina Perez. Now, how did you and the Queenpin initially like hook up, and how did that banger of an entrance song come together?
First, I knew the Queen a long time ago through a mutual friend, and going around ACW, Evolve, FIP, GCW. I ended up linking up with her, and I knew her for a long time. And then one day she messages me and said, "Hey, I want you to make my theme for me." And so I made the song for her first, and then I made a song for her and Lexi, who was obviously a tag team. And I did both of those songs. But when I did that record, it was a lot of fun to do because it took me some time to do it because I didn't want it. Obviously, if it's a man speaking from a female for a female's perspective, you have to come at it very different. You have to be very smooth in how you do it because normally a woman speaks for a woman's perspective. So for that, it was actually easy for me to do it and to rap that song. She loves it. It's actually going to be on my next mixtape that I drop next year. It was actually out for sale last year, and I obviously could put it out now, but I wanted to put it with a collective of body of work that I'm working on next year. So 2023, that song will be available for purchase. And I'm just holding it a little bit because I'm trying to do a video with it. And there's a lot I'm trying to do with that record because I want to make it bigger than one of my bigger songs that I'm putting some investment behind it. So it was fun to do, a lot of fun in the studio to do. My engineer really liked it when I was doing it. It was I was really in the zone that day. So it's a lot of fun. I'm glad the Queen liked it. I'm glad you liked it as well.
Yeah, I'm actually going to quote when I asked her about the song. She said, "That's my jam. That's me. That gets me hype. I've gone to the ring out of breath because I'm dancing and vibing to my song." That was her quote when I asked her about the song.
Thank you, Queen. I
Job well
appreciate that.
done, right?
That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for is that they like it. The wrestlers give good feedback. They're sharing it with everyone, and you can really speak through them. It's a different process, writing and speaking through people, writing for people, but it's a very good talent if you're able to master it. And I'm just so excited, man, that all these years I've been doing this, that the wrestlers really give me that direct feedback like that.
Now, speaking of wrestlers that you've done songs for, you've done songs for two wrestlers that I know of that I've interviewed here on the channel. The other one being one of my favorite people in the entire world from Culture Inc., Malik Bosede.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his song is called About Mine. And the first time I heard him come out to it, I was like, man, that song is rocking. And I didn't realize it was you till he had told me about it. And then It was just one of those songs I could play like over and over and over again. And like, if I need a good workout, that's a song I could throw on.
Thank you, brother. That was fun. That one was fun to do too. I did that recent too. That was a lot of fun to be able to do that, and it's a lot because you really take time. You really take time and really get to know these people, and you get to know them as people before you get to do these songs. I ask them a lot of questions. I get to know them, and when I'm in the studio, I always try to speak through that. And when that song came about, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this gritty. I'm gonna make this upbeat, but I'm gonna make this gritty. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make this gritty but upbeat, and for people to really rock with. And a lot of my music, a lot of people say the wrestling music that I make, they're able to go to the gym and work out or exercise, or or feel vibrant with the stuff that I'm doing. So for the fact that it's working out that way, it means the world to me. You know what I mean? And I'm proud to see that song is really taking off for him, because he's about to go into a good run, a good solo run himself. So I'm very, very proud of him, and I hope he continues to use it, man.
Yeah. So I actually reached out to Malik today and told him I was interviewing you, and I asked him what he thought of the song the first time he had, and this is what he said. He said, "My impression was that I was speechless. I never had a custom-made track for me, and I was happy as F when I heard it. And it's every time I come out to the entrance, and it's lit every time I come out in my entrance."
That's dope, man. I definitely appreciate that. And shout out to him, man. Shout out to all the wrestlers on the up and coming or who's been around for years on their grind. Everybody's got a different story, and just for the fact that I'm still here after all this time, for people to still want to request me to do it, man, it's amazing. I thank both of them for those amazing quotes, man. And thank you for that journalism too, man. That's dope. Thank you. You're dope, man. You're good at this.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. So speaking of, doing songs for wrestlers, now we got to talk about this.
Ha!
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes.
CD, yes. I don't usually buy CDs, but I thought, you know what? This is a collectible. I didn't want to just get the digital version. And you were on at least 3 tracks on this, if I'm not mistaken.
I executive produced and did 3 records, man.
Now, you did one song was about Mark Henry.
Me and Josiah Williams, that was Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter coming together, man. That was Mark Henry. I did Jade Cargil, and I did Nyla Rose.
Right. Now, of the 3, I mean, the 2 are definitely hot, but the one that's a banger to me was definitely the Knockout with Jade Cargil. That Jade Cargil song. It was freaking fire. Like,
thank you.
What were their reactions? If you got any reactions from them?
Okay, can I give you the backstory to that track, please?
Of course, definitely.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the inside. This is no lie here, as the kids say, no cap, right? So this is the lie. This is the truth. So I was talking to Mikey, and he asked me for a list of wrestlers that I wanted to make a song for. So I gave him the list, and Jade, all 3 of them were at the top of the list. The 3 people were at the top of the list. Jade was the first person. So that track comes about, and she wanted more of a Caribbean island sound. So I hit up my producer, Rich Lotta. And he's like, "I never made a beat like this before, but give me some time." So we end up making the beat. So the beat you end up hearing wasn't the first song. It was another song called Win. And Jade was like, that was cool, but I want something more island and Caribbean sound. So we said, okay, let me get back to the drawing board. So Rich, who's obviously a producer for me and Swerve on the Swerve City project, he makes a lot of our production. He ends up making that record. And so then I get sent the beat. Now, mind you, I'm not Sean Paul or Beanie Man at all. I never did a record like this. And so I pass it to my man, Anthony King, and he does the hook. So the hook you hear is him. When he does that, that sets off the record, and that gets me in the zone. I said, okay, I got it. I now know what to do. So I do my part at the beginning, and I try to sound like an island man, which is funny because people like it, but it was hilarious to me because I never rapped like that before. But it was funny.
Let me give you some props though, because you sound so good on there. Like I had a hard time differentiating. Like I'm like, am I sure Monteasy is on this track?
From I'm the first verse. Yeah, that's me. Thank you, bro. So I was kind of insecure about it at first. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna give it a shot. And then Reg came in at the end and took off at the end with the second verse, Righteous Reg at the end, and sealed the song. And man, now that's a banger, man. I'm so proud of that song. I'm proud of all three of them. Nyla, I ended up getting my man John Connor on there, and Rich obviously made the beat and did the verse on there. And I just did the hook. I was like, I don't need to rap on this. Nyla's my personal friend. I know a lot about her, but let me just do the hook and let somebody else get some shine on there. So that's when Rich and Blizz and Rich Lotta end up doing that one. So those are how those tracks came together. But thank you for the love on that track, man. I was so insecure about my part at first, bro. I appreciate it.
Oh no, that shit is straight fire. Like as I was like listening to the tracks, I think on all the CDs, and I'm not like even bullshitting you. It's definitely my favorite track on the album. And it's like, I'm a hip hop guy. I love 90s hip hop. That's definitely my jam for real. But like I had some friends that were Caribbean back in my nightclub days, and we'd go to stuff like that. And it's just, man, that track, it just hits you and it's banging and it's hard. And
I want to do a video for it, man. I want her in the video. I want to do a video. I want to get us on the island, like all of us on the island doing it, man. I would do it big on that song, man. I love that record, man. Thank you. It grew on me.
Well, let's put this out in the universe because a couple weeks ago I interviewed Leila Grey, and she did music videos and stuff like that before she got into wrestling. And I said, you know what? Somebody actually asked like a question, like, about music videos, or I actually brought it back up about music videos. And I was like, why aren't the baddies in a music video? And she's like, I got to hit up Swerve, and we got to get the baddies in a music video, like all together. And I think
so. Fun fact here. It's funny how the universe works. She was in our me and Swerve last video.
Right. She mentioned that too. Yeah. She did.
She was in me and Swerve's last video for Tears. So we ended up she ended up playing his counterpart in the video. So shout out to Leila, man. She did a great job. She was the teacher in the video. We had a lot of fun. So that was good. That was a lot of fun, that video. Earlier this year we shot that. So I look forward to doing more, man. She's dope. She's the baddies are dope. Her, Jade, shout out to everything that they have going on, man. And I look forward to working with them in the future.
Definitely. Now, speaking of, AEW had the CD, so that was like a first for them. Last year, or I should say this year, there was also another first, and they actually had the first ever like AEW Music Show, which you definitely were on that as well.
I've been blessed, man. I have a blessed career, bro. And I can't sit here and I find ways to keep myself motivated. I find something to stay motivated with. But man, what an opportunity that me and Josiah was the first to do that. It like when you're goal orientated, sometimes you just move to the next thing. You move to the next thing, move to the next thing. And you got to learn to appreciate what you're doing though while you're grinding, which is sometimes tough because you don't want to get complacent. Complacency is something that we all our hard workers don't want to fall into. But man, was that an experience. Like I sit back, I look back, I was like, man. And I was able to bring my team. I was able to bring my folks with me. And that's what meant a lot. I was able to bring Anthony King from New York. Me and Josiah was able to do something live on stage together. And I was before him. My time came before him. But just the fact that we was able to share that time with each other to show camaraderie, Josiah to me is the biggest star to do it in this lane. And just for the fact of me and him coming together to do it meant so much, man. I think about that night all the time, man. It went perfect. Shout out to Mikey for giving me the time to do it. Shout out to Mark Henry for coming on stage. Nyla coming on stage, rocking with me. Man, what an experience. Dude, that was a great night. And then at the end, I had an ovation of Monteasy. They were saying, Teasy at the end. They were chanting me. I was like, wow, man. Damn, they brought me to tears, bro. It's been a long journey, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine just being up on stage and people just, cheering your name. Like, that's definitely the emotional roller coaster. I mean, what thoughts go through your head at that moment when people are just chanting your name while you're on stage?
It's you learn to appreciate it, man. You learn to appreciate people because this is a hard business. You podcast. This is a hard business. I'm pretty sure it's not easy to get guests sometimes. It's a competitive business. It's very hard, and a lot of people are doing the same thing. So if you have any kind of light or shine that get people's appreciation in this, you gotta thank them because it's so much attention. The attention spans today are so short that somebody else could be in that spot tomorrow. And longevity is one of the hardest things to obtain in this short attention span world. So for me to be able to do that show and to have people saying teasy at the end, I was running on adrenaline for half of it. But when it hit me what happened, and to see how I was able to really do this and perform Sammy Guevara's theme, to perform all the themes that I've been able to do and put my own music in there, it's a blessing, man. I can't thank you enough. I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to work, continue working. I'm not satisfied with complacency, but I'm also happy with what I've done. And man, it's a blessing, bro.
Man, well said. Now, speaking of keep working, I saw that you announced that you're going to be on the Jericho Cruise 2023 as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, you're just crushing it for real. Like,
thank you,
dude. I was like, once I saw that, I think you posted out like 3 or 4 days ago. I saw that. And I was like, the Jericho Cruise too. Like, is it Chris Jericho that reaches out to you? I mean, I know you've had him on your podcast before too, so I know you're not strangers to him. So is that how it goes, or how's it all come together?
Yeah, man. I mean, we had the interview with Chris. It went great. He gave me some great advice, and it just baffles me that it baffles me in a way that I can actually sit here and say that I know Chris as a friend, and we actually got a good working relationship, and he looks out for me. That's amazing. I looked up to that man. I've been watching that man since I was 8, 9 years old. So to be and to be 33 now, and to know I've been watching this man my whole career, watching him since WWE day, WCW actually, when he debuted with the Lion Tamer, and to see what he's and then say that I can DM him and say, hey, how you doing, man? And we cool. He knows me as Teasy. The fact that I could walk into a room and Mark Henry say, "What's up, Teasy?" I'm like, what? Like it means so much. I don't take none of this for granted, man. But to answer your question directly, it's like, Swerve had the idea. Swerve was like, hey, man, the one thing I didn't do in my career was be on that cruise, and it was something I had on my life goal list, was to make the Jericho Cruise. And God has blessed me with this opportunity. And Swerve's like, I'm gonna make this happen, and he did. Swerve looked out, and Swerve always looks out for me. Shout out to my brother. And it's amazing because, I'm so excited, and I've been in the gym. I've been working out. I gotta look right on that beach, man. I'm going to the Bahamas, bro. I gotta look right.
Everything's tank tops, right? You gotta.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying, man. I'm in there working. I'm dieting like a madman right now. I'm trying to get ready for February. So it's amazing that this has happened, and we got a podcast that Jericho is letting us come on and do a show and get to do 4 days on a cruise, man. That's amazing. I'm just blessed, and dude, it's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait, bro. I cannot wait.
Now, speaking of Swerve, how did you guys come together?
Sure. So let me ask you this: do you want the good story, the good long story, or you want the Cliff Notes? I'll give you either one. Which one do you want?
Why don't we go to the Cliff Notes and we can work from there?
Okay, gotcha. So basically, in 2015, we met at an indie promotion. I was doing a theme song for somebody performing live, and they booked me to come there. I came out there to MCW in Maryland. Shout out Dan McDevitt and everybody in MCW. Love you guys. You guys are family. And he was on the card. He was in the main event. So I was selling merchandise, and he was selling his merchandise next to me. My manager says, hey, man, that's the guy you need to connect with. Swerve Strickland at the time when he's going by, he's going to be that dude. And I didn't believe him at the time. I didn't believe him, but I didn't believe it. I was like, because I didn't know him. I didn't know Swerve. We shook hands. We took a picture. And so we left it at that. 2017, I booked him for an interview for my podcast at the time called the Theme Song King podcast at the time. And we sit down. He's the first wrestler that I ever sat down with, as far as active wrestler. And I had some notes in my hand. And it was wrestling questions, all wrestling questions. But prior to that, I crumple up the paper and I throw it out, and I talk music with him, the whole music and stuff the whole time. And he said, the fact that you did that and didn't ask me the same thing, I was very intrigued with what you did. I liked how you did the show. So then he invites me to do a podcast with him. Now, we don't know each other. We don't know each other very well. He invites me for an opportunity to do a podcast with him. 2017. He said, can you come up to Orlando where I'm from? I'm about an hour out. Yes, I can come up to you. and we just wing it. We wing it. The Swerve City podcast. We wing it. We go right into business. You know, we didn't know each other very well. We grew to learn each other. We grew to trust each other because it takes a lot of trust and a lot of low ego, a lot of trust, and a lot of hard work to get here where we got. So it was just winging it. Swerve City podcast. We started on High Spots, 2017. Sammy Callahan was our first director, and now we're 6 years in. It's my brother. I'll do anything for that man. One of the few people I'll take a bullet for. So, you know, that's, and seeing what we've grown on the podcast. You see people we've had over the years. Charlotte Flair, Bailey, Damian Priest, Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho, Samoa Joe. We've been running for 5 years now. We continue to work. We got some special guests here coming up too, man, in the bag. We've interviewed hip-hop artists. We've had rappers. We've had movie stars. We've had adult entertainers, Lisa Ann. We've had everybody. So, I mean, everybody knows about Lisa Ann. I don't need to go there. But, you know, that's great. So that's how we've been moving, man. 5 years in running. Coming on 6.
Yeah, no, I love the chemistry between you guys because it's just the way you guys play off of each other. And
what's your favorite episode?
Oh, I love the Eddie Kingston.
The one we did when we was which one? The one we did when he was sitting across from us?
Yes, across from you guys.
In the room? Okay, got
yes.
you. He's been on a few times, so I was asking which one.
Yeah, well, he's been in your music videos as well, too. And I ran into Eddie Kingston in the hotel in Jacksonville when they were doing all the shows out of Jacksonville.
Right.
My wife and I stayed up there, and I walked in, I'm like, damn, Eddie Kingston's a big dude, but I think he's also like one of the realest dudes. I mean, I've never personally met him other than, hey, what's up, King? Eddie, hey, how are you? You know, he was leaving in the morning. He feels like probably the realest dude. He probably just...
He's another one I take a bullet for. That man has never steered me wrong. He's always been the same dude. He's always supported. He's always showed love. He's never changed. He's never gave me any bad energy. I love him, man. If I was a wrestler in my imaginary world, I'd want to be a team with Swerve and Eddie. That'd be my stable. I love them dudes, man. Shout out to Eddie, bro.
Man, nice. Now, you recently had Tony Khan on your podcast. Britt Baker I saw recently. But in addition to the Swerve City podcast, you also do Teasy's Table as well too. So that's just you and having your one-on-one, essentially, almost like this type of format.
Absolutely. Teasy's Table is more of a personable thing. It's one thing that I always try to do, man, and you'll understand what I mean by this is, sometimes they say people are at the top or connected, and they're so gone that they kind of don't see what's happening on the come up, or they kind of are so high they don't pay attention to what's going on for the people on the come up or give opportunities to other people. I have my celebrities on there and my notable names as always, but I also like to do things from the community, people in the wrestling community. I've had Brian Alvarez on there before. I'm gonna have Solid Monster on there soon. I will do an all media panel. I'd like to have you on there. I'd like to have you and a couple other people in media and wrestling media all join me on a chat, so I get y'all perspectives. I like to do that because everybody's important and everyone matters. And I wanted to have that platform for Teasy's Table to be able to show that I'm still connected on what's going on. No matter how connected I might seem in what I'm doing, I'm still around to people who are in media, who are doing, all sorts of things. I'd like to do, I plan on doing sometime 2023, doing an all media podcast. I'll get yourself. I'll get a couple other people that are notable or something. I'll probably have a couple people from New York and maybe get like a 5, 6, 7 panel thing to all talk wrestling with you guys and ask you guys what you guys think, because you have to do that. You have to be connected in both ways. You can't be too gone and you can't be too, too behind either. So I like to do that with my podcast. It's more personable. I like to have guests, so I like to ask them fun questions and have more of a personable conversation, more motivation type, but it's a lot of fun as well. And I keep things light, and it's different. It's a different format from the Swerve City podcast, but I do that just for more personable conversations. I just recently interviewed Sean Porter, former 2-time WBO boxing champion. I'm looking forward. I've had Janai Kai. I've had a whole bunch of people. Kenny King. I mean, you name it, man. I've had a lot of people. I look forward to having different other people from wrestling on there soon. But I want them to be notable people so that people can see how far the outreach is. So yeah, we're moving, bro. We're moving, and thank you for that. I look forward to getting you on there someday as well.
Oh yeah, no, you just tell me, I'll make it happen for sure, for sure.
Absolutely, bro. No,
Now,
for sure.
yeah, one of those interviews, and I mentioned it to you a couple weeks ago when we set this up, was the Janiyah Kai interview, because I interviewed her at a show, and at a show you only get like 8 minutes with them backstage or before they have to get ready for the matches. So I watched your interview with her, and it was just, she really complimented you on just like how comfortable it was and how fun it was not to talk about wrestling so much and just other things too, which I think is definitely
Absolutely, absolutely. I
important.
was cracking jokes. I always crack jokes on there about telling people not to talk about wrestling all the time. But I just try to be funny. But it's I just try to look at it different. I look at myself as an entertainer. If I'm a musician, is my main thing. I don't want to talk about that 24/7. You know what I mean? There's other things to me in my personality than just wrestling, or being in wrestling. Let's talk wrestling. We can mix it up. Talk a little motivation. Talk wrestling. Talk music. Talk a whole bunch of different things, because I think as people, you get tired of doing the same mundane thing. I'm pretty sure if you work a computer job, you get tired of typing on a computer all day. If you do a computer job, you want to end up stimulating yourself in other creative ways or other ways. So I find myself saying, you know what? Let me ask these people something different. Let me think about some music questions, life questions, fun questions, and that'll keep them light on their toes. And I make sure I ask them randomly too, so they never see where I'm coming from. I always try to do that. And it's something to think about. So I have a different format, and it keeps people on their toes, and you get more of an honest answer in that way instead of the same thing. You know what I mean? And I respect everybody to do that. That's not for everyone's interview style. I'm not saying it's the best way to do it. I'm just saying that it's just my comfortable way, because as an entertainer and someone who does it and gets interviewed all the time, I know how it could be. So, but you're doing great. Your questions are different. So I can tell you did your homework. You either got to be, I always like to interview with people that are very prepared or switches it up, and you're doing both. So you're very prepared, you did your homework. And that's a great thing to be involved in. Some people interview and they have no idea to ask you to say, you can tell they didn't do any homework or anything about you. So, I try to keep it different on TZ's table, man. I appreciate your support and watching.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you don't want to hear like, so what was your favorite finishing move? What is your favorite hold? What song do you like? It's like, oh, okay, enough already.
You feel it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You'll
You'll bore people really quick.
A lot of people to know,
Yeah. Now let's talk some music videos, because I grew up in the MTV generation. I love music videos. And when I first started catching up on your stuff, there was one music video in particular that I love creativeness in music videos. Okay.
Sure.
And Starship Enterprise is, I think, just, it brings me back to those simpler days of where people just had fun with their music. Can you tell me a little bit about just the concept of that, how you came up with it, and just how it all came together?
I'll be 100% honest, man. That's all Swerve. All Swerve. I will not take the directorial credit on that. That was all his vision. And the fun, the ideas was just improvising. The stuff in the video was all improvisation between me and him. That was all cooked up between us. But the idea, the concept of the spaceship and all that I got to give much love to the team. Much love to Siren, Mike, X, who directed. That was his first video. He directed and edited. Shout out to X. And shout out to X for the visual. He did the whole visual thing. Everything you see with the spaceship, that's all X. So shout out to X. Shout out to Siren and Mike for their directorial credits on that. And Swerve had this idea. So he went into the studio and he bought me this suit. He bought me that suit you saw me in. He had the suit, and we're just improvising off each other the whole time. All improvisation. And it was fun. It was fun to be able to do that. Swerve, that was the first time people saw me in another character. I think that's when my transition from being just a rapper to like an entertainer happened, was that video. Because I didn't take myself serious. For the first time, I wasn't in rapper mode. I was just Antoine. You know what I mean? Like, it was like me. And I had so much fun. He brings that out of me in a way. Swerve has a way of pulling that part out of me that I was lacking, which is being an entertainer and not just a rapper. So that video was a lot of fun. We had the fake steering wheel.
It was awesome. And it was just on purpose. Like, it's just like not even trying to be real with the steering wheel. Like,
Absolutely,
it
bro.
comes out of the shot and it's
Amazing,
hilarious.
bro. We had a lot of fun with that, bro. We had a lot of fun. And it means a lot to me to see the reaction that you guys have, because in wrestling, we're trying to do things that hasn't been done. We're trying to do the music thing in a way. You have rap gimmicks and all this stuff, but we're trying to do it in another way to where the music is good. You get a good quality sound, and we're having fun as a team. And I'm proud of him. And that was his first video he ever directed. He ever directed it on his own. And I'm proud of him because I just played Robin the Batman on that one. That was a lot of fun, bro. I had a great time. I think about that all the time.
Now, as far as that's my favorite music video, but I think my favorite song, okay, and it does have a music video, has Big Swole singing the hook on the song, and it's Broke Boys, which I think is definitely like, it's just that, to me, that song Broke Boys is classic hip hop. You got the female on there. I didn't know Big Swole could sing like that till I heard the track, and then just the tone of the song is just like, that's what, when I think hip hop, like, that's the kind of song I say this is what hip hop is right there.
Thank you. That was the first song me and Swerve ever did together, and that was Swerve's idea. Swerve put that track together. I will not sit here and not lie to you about the whole process, bro. One day he's like, I got this idea for this song. This is the second song we did one song before, but it didn't make it. It was just a test out. This is his first official song he's ever done. He's like, I'm gonna get Swole to sing. I was like, Swole can sing? Not like I questioned his idea, but I just didn't know. I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's dope. I don't know. We'll hear. I'm in the studio. I mean, might be, bro. She started saying, I was like, oh. So she started doing the hook. Okay. Then me and him starts writing the song together. And young and I've been, bro. Scene 4. I start my part. And he goes, young boy, don't time to fill piggy bands. Like, oh, okay. So the video, we co-directed that together. The whole team, shout out to Siren and Mike again. They came down to my apartment at the time. And everything you see from like the corner store, Swerve's in, the beach and everything, that's down the street from my house, bro. We just winged it. Because it was supposed to be a different video. And Swerve was, not Swerve. Swole was supposed to be in it, but she got sick that day. Okay. So we had no choice but to shoot. She was supposed to be in it. And I'm gonna give you another fun fact too, really quick. I'm supposed to say this too. Just real quick before I get back to that song. The song, if you haven't seen the song Second Nature with me and John Connor about Charlotte Flair, Charlotte was supposed to be in the video too. She just couldn't make it that day.
Okay, because you just threw in like clips.
Yes.
I believe. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
She was supposed to be in that video too. Right. So there's a lot of things that were supposed to happen that, I trust the universe, but it just didn't time out that way. But there's a few things that has happened that still made an impact that was supposed to happen. But back to the song. So when the song was done, I'm like, wow, this is a banger. Bro, boys, Swerve's a very visual guy. Certain things that I lack in on the visual part, he has it. So I go to him for a lot of counsel visually because he's a sharp mind in that. So the song gets done, the video gets done. We shoot the video. We're walking outside. I'm with the scene where I'm on the bus and I walk on the bus and I'm acting like I'm going to pay for it. That was real. I actually walked on the bus and then like I was going to pay for it. And I stalled out till they got the footage and I walked off the bus and the dude looked at me like I was crazy. But, I acted like I didn't have any money and they filmed it. It's funny, man. But sitting there waiting for the bus and stuff and then Swerve walking in the corner store. The corner store dude was cool. He's like, yeah, go ahead and shoot it. I don't care. And he's like, go ahead, shoot your footage. I'm like, wow, this is dope. Then we went to the beach and shot that video and shot that part of the video. So that song is classic. We do that every live show. That will always be people's favorite song from us. I don't see and that's the first record we ever did. That's how I know it's supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen, bro. That was the first song we ever did. A lot of people wanted to hear our music. There's Starship Enterprise is number 2, Broke Boys is number 1, and then there's a song that is on that's going to be on the AEW video game that's coming out called Go Team Go that you'll hear on the album. People love that second song too. So we do all those live when we perform as well.
That's right, because I did see that. I actually have that in my notes. The AEW video game you did announce a couple months ago. You were just like, I'm blessed. Like, I'm being asked to now produce music for the AEW video game. Is it just one track, or are you doing a few more tracks than
Oh
that?
my God, dude, no. So I have so it's Go Team Go with me and Swerve. That's one. There's uh the 3 songs that are on the AEW project. So you have those, the ones that we talked about from the What We Are the CDU show. All
Okay.
3 of them will be on there, and I have Sammy Guevara's theme when he comes out.
Right. Okay.
So that's 5 records.
Okay. Nice.
Five records on the video game that has my voice on it or production on it. 5 songs that'll be on there. That's incredible, bro. That means the world to me. That I had the dream of having my music in a video game, bro. It's, dude, you can't ask for anything better, man. So those 3 records that are on the What We Are, Go Team Go with Swerve, and Take Flight by Sammy Guevara.
Nice. Now, speaking of just great stuff, I gotta look at your T-shirt, and I believe that's Tupac on your T-shirt right there.
Tupac and Marilyn Monroe
Marilyn
sitting
Monroe.
next to each other.
Right. Tupac. Anybody ask me who the greatest of all time is, I say it's Pac. People
can't deny it, bro. I will not argue that.
What do you think Tupac would say about the state of hip hop in 2022?
One, I think Tupac would have moved on to more political things and movies by this age. He'd be in his mid to late 40s. So I think he would still make music once in a blue moon, but he would have been moved on to more the revolutionary and acting type thing, because he was very multifaceted. I don't think he would have stopped making music because he was a workaholic, but he would have slowed down and focused on. That's my opinion. But I think he would be vocal about wanting more of a message in it. I think because he everything he did had a message. I think he would appreciate the young generation, but I think he wouldn't be happy with a lot of the message that's coming out, because he would feel like it's ruining his people. So I think that is where he would be. I think he'd be happy with artists having freedom and streaming and doing their own thing, but the independence. But I think he want more of a message in the music from the folks. I think he would.
Yeah, I think one of the most powerful messages, and I actually was telling my wife the other day, because we were talking about all the crazy stuff that goes on in the war, and
right.
One of his lines was, we got money for war, but can't feed the poor.
Yep.
And I'm like, that was like 30 years ago.
Yep.
And we're still in the exact same situation. And I think what you said about him doing something political, I think you're spot on with that.
I think it's political, man. I think he would have more of a message. I think his message musically would be great, would still be out there, but I think he would focus more on the political activism and still be making movies for sure. Probably have his own filming company or something. Pac would have his own filming thing, probably like a Tyler Perry has his own thing. I think Pac would have, 2 Pac films, a Pac video. He'd have some special name and get into his own production company, I believe, for sure.
Now, coming up soon, you're going to be down here in Miami where I'm at, and you're going to be performing with just a bunch of awesome performers. I know some of them, just to mention, was Bobby Valentino and Shy and Jagged Edge. So what exactly are you going to be doing at that show down here in Miami?
Oh yeah, actually, I'm actually let you guys know. I didn't mean to put this. I'm doing media there, so I'm gonna be doing media. I'm gonna be backstage with Donnell and everybody, and I'm gonna be doing that's more of a media thing, and I'm gonna be doing that for the YouTube channel. So I'm going out there to do have my cameraman and just put in some work to see who I can talk to and take pictures and network. I got some networking to do because I got some music I want to make music with Bobby Valentino and Jay Holiday and all them. So I'm gonna be doing some networking, see if I can get a wrestling record with somebody out there and put them on a wrestling song. God bless, I was able to get Music Soul Child on the wrestling record. I would love to get Bobby Valentino or Jay Holiday or Jagged Edge or somebody on a wrestling song. So I want to be able to network that. So that's why I'm out there. I'm out there to doing some media. I got some media, get some footage, and yeah, I got invited out there. Shout out to Donald Jones's manager, Yard Out Entertainment. Shout out to Yard Out, love you, bro. And we're going out there to doing some media. So I can't wait, brother. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna watch the show because there's gonna be some women out there too. So.
It's gonna be crazy out there, that's for sure. Now, I saw you have a new album coming out soon. War the Care Package. Is that dropping this week or next week?
War is actually out. War is actually out.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes. Erica's Son 2 is what I'm dropping. Erica's Son 2 is releasing January 6th. That is my follow-up to my first album, Erica's Son, which is now on all distributed platforms. So I've been busy, man. You guys get me the care package explain a little bit more about that is called War, which is wrestling, ambition, respect. That's what it stands for. And that's me and John Connor. Shout out to John Connor, one of the top rappers in the world, been for years. Thanks for him for being humble enough to do a project with me, and for me to come with him and share my connection in wrestling, get him in wrestling. And we did a wrestling record together. That's the Second Nature song that you hear. That's the Big E song, Feel the Power. You got a song called Survivor Series on there. You got a song called Unforgiven. You got, what else we got on there? We have, we have Bray Wyatt Fiend. We have Heart Foundation. So you guys check that out. It's doing very well too. It's a project I just randomly released. I said, hey guys, me and John finished this tape. We've been done with it for about 5 months. Let's put it out. And it's been great. Charlotte Flair just shared the story yesterday for her song. She's been promoting it. Shout out to Big E. And I got some special news to tell everybody soon about the next project that we're doing. So we're doing War, the Care Package 2, which will be worked on 2023. We're going to work on that. We're going to do the second follow-up. We picked another slew of wrestlers. And to give you a nugget on your show, I haven't told anybody publicly, but you're my guy, so I'm going to tell you this, and I love your podcast, that Big E helped me pick the list of wrestlers. So Big E and I got on the phone, text message, and we picked a list of wrestlers from all different companies. So he helped me. He put his input in and helped me pick the wrestlers that I should do it for. Just text messaging and talking. And he said, "Yeah, let's think of this real quick." And he helped me pick them. So he helped me. The wrestlers that you hear on this next tape, wrestling tape, come out 2023. Late 2023 is all picked by Big E. So and myself. So and then like I said, Erica's Son 2. The song Other Side that you guys have been hearing. I Won't Judge with Anthony King, Ego Slide. Those records that I've put out will be on Erica's Son 2. I have Swerve on there, Anthony King on there, Rich Boy, the famous Throw Some D's on it, that song. Rich Boy's on there. Music Soul Child's on there. So there's a lot of great music that I've been dropping, and it's been wonderful. Man, I stay busy, bro. And then we have a compilation project coming out 2023 called Emmett. I can never tell people what Emmett means. It's Emmett like Emmett Smith. Like I was
gonna say number 22.
Yes, 22? Emmett 22, right? Emmett 22, right? So I can't tell people what Emmett means. I can never tell people what it means unless you're in the music part for that. They know what it means. But there's a project coming out, compilation project. Me, Rich Lotta, Swerve, Anthony King, and my man Chris Cage, and we're doing a it's not like a label, but we're a unit. So we're gonna do like a Wu-Tang type thing. Late 2023, that project is going to come out as well. So stay tuned, man. I'm working. I'm busy. And after Swerve's project comes out, Swerve's dropping his solo project next year as well in the spring, a few months after mine. Then we might get together on the next group album, the album number 4 as a group. So you're going to get a lot of content, man.
Right. Now, speaking of Wu-Tang, I mean, that's definitely what changed my life was enter the 36 Chambers, opened me to a whole new world. Now, back in the 90s and 80s and when they promoted, they were selling tapes out of the trunk of their cars. People were hustling CDs on the streets and stuff like that. Here in 2022, like, how do you market yourself as far as like music? Because we were talking about podcasts earlier. There's a million podcasts out there, right? Everybody has a music video on YouTube. How do you like really try to like, what's your marketing strategy now whenever you're going to put out an album to get people to spend the money on iTunes and whatnot?
Oh, great question. Great question. My advice, honestly, is to first find out how you can make your content stand out. And it could be the way you question. It could be, what is your format? And how are you going to do it? How are you going to put this project out? or make this podcast? What is it? What is the thesis of it to make people easy to understand? And then what market are you targeting, with your podcast or your album or your creative content? You got to know where you're targeting, the people that you're trying to market to, because that's a lot of mistakes people make. They don't know where they're targeting. They're just putting stuff out. So the easier you know where you're targeting and where you're going to go with your content, the better that is going to be, honestly. The better that is going to be for you with knowing where you want to go. Third, I would say have a marketing budget to use ads, and please do that. Not saying you have to have all the money in the world, but if you have a few dollars to put towards target marketing your music, as far as putting it on playlists or with your content, as far as your YouTube podcast to get ads and your audio to be promoted, the better it'll be. My thing I also tell people too is invest in getting celebrities and people to shout out your stuff and get them to market it or program like video shout outs. All those things, little things help, because it shows that you're getting co-signed and that people are supportive. Even if you got to buy a shout out from a celebrity, it shows that you're investing in your brand. Merchandise is very important. A couple shirts, you ain't got to go crazy. A couple shirts people can buy to show love for you, what you do. And I always say, have merch a way to get for free and have something to sell. So, have people support your brand in other ways. New shirts, new merch, things like that for people to buy. I'm working on a new shirt right now. I'll be sending all the AEW guys to take a picture in it. You know what I mean? To show love. So you have to be able to invest in yourself. Know where your market is. Know where you're marketing. Don't worry about the competition. There's millions of people doing this. That's fine. You got to do it because you love it. It's just not built off what the next man or woman is doing. You got to stay confident in your work and what you're doing. You get your fan base. It's not hard because everybody's clicking. It's just keeping their attention and not making them click away. They're going to click. They're going to see what you're doing. It's just keeping their attention. And don't get discouraged. Your mind's going to play tricks on you in this. Some days you're going to feel like you're not going anywhere with this. Then some days you feel like you just hit a home run. It's human nature with the emotions in this. We're independent contractors. I always tell people this business, like I always say on the podcast, Short City Podcast, this business is not on structure. We work for what we eat for how we work. What we get is how we eat. So this is not like going to a grocery store. You're a stocker. You know the aisles you're working at. You know when the truck comes in. You know when you're stocking dairy. You know when you're stocking milk. You know what time you leave. You know what time your break is. It's not like that in this. You make this all on your own. So you have to be cognitive of what you're doing. Don't let opinions stray you. Be confident in yourself. And don't be afraid. Last thing, don't be afraid to take constructive criticism. Don't make your show better, but know who to listen to. Because a lot of people are just going to say anything. So take constructive criticism. Keep an open eye. But make sure you're also working hard, and you got to work harder than the next man. I'm always on my phone, maybe all the time, thinking of guests, and I'm DMing people. Some people don't respond. I don't take it personally, but you work, and you got to continue to work. So that's my advice on that, on marketing as well, is knowing what you're doing. Have marketing dollars. Take constructive criticism. And have merch and everything ready to give away and to sell.
Oh man, that is like just a whole big ball of advice.
It's a lot of information.
Package, yes.
It's a lot of information, but it's so much that goes into it. And one quick thing is to be able to improvise, be able to switch things in a drop of a dime. Because there's no real structure. So you have to be able to switch things. Maybe you got to switch the format of your show. Maybe you got to switch a merch idea. Maybe you got to switch a guest because this guest will fit this time. You know how to do it. You got a podcast. You know what guests fit this time, what you're trying to accomplish, the theory you're trying to accomplish that week. You got to be able to switch on a dime too. The better you're better at multitasking, the more successful you'll be with your marketing.
Yeah, I definitely want to give you a huge compliment just on your professionalism. Ever since the first time we talked earlier this year about doing the first interview, you're a person that legitimately reads your messages, you respond to messages, you're 15 minutes ahead of time for the podcast. You're signing in. Like, I love that. And,
Absolutely.
you said about people like not even reading their messages or responding to messages, which I see a lot of time when I send messages. They don't read their messages. And I know I'm going to bring up Leila Grey as an example here. And she made it public as QT Marshall reached out to her on Facebook. I think it was Messenger. I don't want to be wrong about that. But, and got her to come to the AEW Dark Show. Had she not read that message, think about a year and a half ago getting that message on Facebook and people just ignoring messages. It blows my mind when you're trying to run a business and you're not taking it seriously.
No, man, I take everything serious. You know why? Because I would want the same thing done for me and the same respect. This is all a game of relationships, and people mess that up. People think because somebody might not be where you're at, they're not an important relationship. You never know where somebody's going to be tomorrow. You never know. And even if they don't end up in a big position, huge position, they're still a person. They're still people, and they still have value. No matter where you value people, they still have value. I'm not trying to get my motivational speaker bag, but I'm just trying to just be honest because people are people. Like when you hit me up and went to my phone, I answered it directly. I'm sitting here on my phone all day. Why I can't answer that? Like I'm sitting here. Okay, you hit me up before. We were supposed to do it. It didn't happen due to unseen circumstances. So I said, okay, when the time is right, you hit me up. You said, hey, I'm doing a Zoom thing. I'm doing Zoom for my podcast. So I'm right here in my office doing the same thing you're doing. So it's like, hey, his podcast means a lot to him. I care about him hitting me up. It means a lot to have someone, me being in the game this long, still wants to talk to me about what I'm doing. Look at it from a humble approach and let's do it. Hey, what time? This is when I'm available and let's knock it out. So I appreciate out to me being professional and this is not the first the last time I'll be on here. So I look forward to the future and there's no problem, bro. Whatever you need from me, hit me up. And if I can make it happen, I will.
No, I appreciate it. This is actually, since COVID, like I did a couple of these during COVID, but then, my format has always been the live interview, like the in-person interview, go to the shows,
It's
go to the
always the
convention.
best. It's
It's
always
always
the
the
best,
best. And I've
always
been
the best.
so against it for so long, but like with less shows in Miami down here and only really one big company, CCW, really running shows, I was like, you know what? I have to expand. So this is only the third Zoom interview I've done. I've got more lined up, but like, I was like, you know what? It's time to jump on that. And I'm never going to talk to you. I'm never going to talk to all these people I want to talk to if I don't make it happen now.
Absolutely, bro. You have to jump on it, and that's where you did the right thing. See, what I was just talking about was improvising. You improvised because we're not always going to be able to be everywhere at once, and sometimes we're working alone. We don't have the biggest team to do everything. Sometimes it's just us at a period of point. It's hard to trust people sometimes, and you just have to do it yourself. So you improvised. You said, "Hey, I'm not 100%. I'm the same way. Live interviews are always better, but you know what? This is the way it's going. This is the way time it is right now. COVID, transportation, everybody's not everywhere. I'll shoot a shot in the DMs and see what happens. So, it's always going to work out that way. And you always trust the universe and it'll always get you the right people. So you did it the right way. And you wasn't afraid to improvise, what you have to do to be successful.
Right. Now, speaking of you doing it for the love of doing this, I saw you today on Facebook posted out like your four dream list and that you've interviewed two of those four people. And again, the universe, I'm being dead serious with you, works in crazy ways because starting the first of the year, I'm going to start doing some retro video game reviews, okay, on the channel. Differentiate. The first game being released, my first retro review is Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball for the Super Nintendo. It's already edited. It's already done. I'm just putting it the first of the year. And when I saw that was one of your four people that you wanted to interview today, I was like, craziness. Why Ken Griffey Jr.? I mean, I know why, but why your reason?
Ken was the first cool athlete I ever saw. Him and Deion Sanders were the first two athletes that were cool, that made being an athlete cool. Ken with the hat to the back, his chewing the gum, laid back, hit a home runs, very nonchalant walking around the bases. The man was the GOAT to me. You know what I mean? I grew up on him and Barry. Them two were some of my favorite athletes. I'm not here to talk about steroids and all with people. I know when I was in middle school, high school, and I would watch Sunday Night Baseball and watch him at Pat Bell Park hit that ball into McCovey Cove, Barry Bonds. It was one of the most exciting things to me as a kid. But Ken Griffey Jr., man, he could play center field. He could do everything, and from his time in Seattle to his time in Cincinnati, he was the GOAT, man. He just made baseball cool when baseball wasn't the coolest thing to watch for some people. And he was a guy who listened to rap music, had his hat to the back, and he was just always a humble dude. And I've put it for my connections. I know a lot of people that know him or know around people or family around him. And I hope, and I've given it to the universe and I've prayed that it happens, that he sees the value in Swerve City Podcast, and we make it happen. Same with Dion. So Dion, Neon Dion, the prime time. You look good, you play good, you smell good, you feel good. One of the most confident men I've ever seen on television. And I would love to interview both of them about their careers and about their lives. Like Ken would be it. Like Ken.
That's your guy. That's the one. That's
the number one. Out of all four of them, there's number one. Dion's 2, Rashad was 3, Porter was 4.
Okay.
Absolutely. Man, Ken, I'm wearing the jersey on the podcast. I'm wearing his jersey. I'm wearing his hat. I'm wearing the hat to the back. I'm going to be a total fan that episode. And I try not to fan out, but that one, I'm fanning out.
It's okay.
Let me get that pass. They're going to have to let me get that pass. I have not fanned out, except for Jericho a little bit. On none of these podcasts, I got to fan out on Ken Griffey. I'm due that pass.
I was going to say, you have enough professionalism to fanboy out at the same time and carry you through the... I'm confident you got this. You got this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know when to kick it into gear.
Right. Now, I know your time is valuable, so
take your time, man.
Okay. I just want to make sure we are good. We are good.
Take your time.
I do want to ask you about one of the music videos you also did with Brian Cage called Cage, and he was actually in the video. And I've met Brian Cage at one of the shows down here in Miami. Super nice dude, and I feel like he's one of those guys too. Like actually, when I approached him, I didn't bring up wrestling to him. I didn't do an interview with him or anything, but I said, you know what, Brian Cage, you're my favorite He-Man of all time. Because he was in a little independent movie where he played He-Man for like a 30-minute movie. And he's like, what? Like, you know about that? I'm like, yeah, I know about that. I don't know. Can you just tell me a little bit about your experience working with the Machine himself, Brian Cage, and that music video?
Oh, man. And can you please clip this so I can post this?
Absolutely.
Send this part to me.
We will send this to Brian Cage.
Absolutely. Brian is one of my great friends in this business, man. He's looked out for me so much, man. He's looked out for me. He's such a good-hearted dude, and he's always looked out for me, bro. If I asked him to come on the podcast, he's been on Swerve City Podcast, he's been on my podcast, and he's always been open with me. And that video was a great experience. It was a lot of fun to do that. That was one of the times where I really, really felt good in saying, like, hey, man, I'm really, really not only getting somewhere, but his cosign meant a lot. That song was a lot of fun to do. One of my favorite wrestling songs I've ever done. One of my favorite records I've ever done. And to be able to have him as, a cosign and just his energy, man. He's a very nice guy. And he's always welcoming and always has been supportive of me and what I do. If I needed him to share something, he would do it. Dude is great, man. And I can't wait to work with him more in the future and any other project. You know what I mean? Anything else he needs, I'm proud of him. And he's one of the best in the world, and he definitely deserves his moment. And I look forward to seeing him becoming a future champion for that company in many ways. That he already is being the tag team champion now, but even a solo run and him getting his shine there too. So I love him, and he's an amazing dude. Shout out to Brian.
Yeah, because he just won the 6-man titles in ROH.
Well earned,
last weekend. Yeah.
Well earned. I look forward to even more from solo titles, solo runs, tag team runs. Whatever Brian wants to do, he's with it, man. He deserves it.
Now, I know Swerve is your boy, right? Like thick and thin, right? So,
right.
When you're watching his matches, do you ever get emotionally invested in maybe somebody else while they're going up against, like, okay, for example, okay, the Acclaimed this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most emotionally invested I've been in a match in a long time. And I know you're always rooting for Swerve, but is there any time where you're like, man, I hope, Bowens gets the win, or Max Caster, or Keith Lee? Is there any time you ever root against Swerve, or is it 100% Swerve is your ball?
Nope. Nope.
100%. All right, so we just had a little technical difficulties for the second time, but it's okay. So we were talking about, I was asking you, do you ever root against your boy Swerve at any point in time? And you got very excited there.
Nope. I do not. I will not. But what I will do is I want the other team to do well. If I like you, I want you to do well. Like, if you're Keith Lee, this current situation they're going through right now, I love Keith. That's my guy. But I got to go for my dog. So that's the way it goes, man. Like, if it's a match, do I think he's like, if I think he should lose or something like that, then it doesn't bother me if he loses. I want him to win. But if he gives a good match and he loses, then he gave his best. I don't, especially if I like the other person, like, everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Darby Allin. Love him. I love him. Love Darby. But he goes against Swerve. I want Swerve to win, but I want Darby to do well. You know what I mean? I want him to do well. I want Keith Lee to do well, but I want my bro to win. So, I'm home team. So I always want my bro to get the victory. But I do want some opponents to do well. I want them to, get their stuff in, make it challenging for them. Don't make them walk through you. But, I'm always going to go for my bro in the end, just like I know he's going to go for me. So
love the loyalty.
It's a pack, dude. I'm loyal to the soil, brother. I'm not. It's never going to change. That's one thing about me, bro. If you got me, you got me. Now, if you don't, I'm never coming back.
Oh, okay. There's no coming back.
Because I'm gonna give you too much of my loyalty for you to ever think you need me for to be there. You know what I mean? That's the kind of person I am. So I'm always gonna rock with him. Always gonna rock with him.
I love it. What's in the future for Monteasy?
Man, work, bro. Working. Always staying committed to the work. Working on 2-3 different albums next year. Erica's Son 2 comes out January 6th, and then I'm already on to my next project, Mind of Marvin Cobain. So I'm working on that, a more darker album. More, about my personal life, a lot more things I didn't really open up about much in music that I'm going to talk about in this one. But that project, me and Swerve are going to continue with the podcast, a lot of touring. The John Wick tour is announcing its dates, so I'm going to be around looking to get some motivational speaking dates in. I'm going to be going to a few wrestling promotions and speaking to wrestlers. Now, I'm not a wrestler at all, but I'm a motivator, and I am in the wrestling game, and I have been through a lot. So I think I can motivate people in the game as far as giving them motivation. So I'm definitely looking at speaking to some wrestling kids at schools and stuff like that and talk to them. Definitely going to be doing more podcasting, TZ's Table, Swerve City Podcast. More merch is coming. There's music videos coming for Erica's Son 2. There's music videos coming from even older songs that me and Swerve has done from our older projects, music videos. There is a lot of collaborations that I'm working on, looking to go to WrestleMania next year in Cali. Looking forward to that. January 4th. When are you putting this out? Immediately?
In like 2 days. Yeah.
Okay. So there will be an announcement about January 4th. But I will be the show in Seattle for AEW. I will be there in Seattle, Washington. I will be hopping on a plane from Florida all the way to Washington.
Does Ken Griffey still live out there?
Nope, he's in Orlando.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in Orlando. He's near us. So,
okay.
Thankful for all the opportunities and stay and work with the music. Dropping a song called Waiting for You with Tasha Steelz in the video. I'm working on getting some other wrestlers. I'm trying to get Top Flight in the video with me. Trying to get Top Flight in the music video. I got an idea for them. So staying busy, man. Staying busy. Staying working, bro. The work never stops. You continue. the work. I look forward to seeing keeping up with you and what you're doing and your podcast, and keep pushing, man. And that's all I'm doing as well.
No, I would love to see you do something with Dante and Darius. I think that would be. I
I'm
mean,
working
those
on it, bro.
guys
I'm
are
working on
the
it.
future right there.
I'm trying to get them now, brother,
I
before they're
love
too
them.
hard to reach.
Yeah, because they are going to be very hard to reach at one point.
Yes, I'm trying to get them now while they're young and vibrant, brother. Before I got to reach the agent to talk to them.
Right, exactly. Well, where can people check out the merch? Where are people watching the music videos? All that good stuff.
Thank you. First, you guys go to youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast. That is where the TZ Tables podcast is held. The Swerve City Podcast. Check out all the content we have out there. Swerve just dropped a music video called Grown Man Cry. Shout out to check that out. I just recently dropped a video called I Won't Judge, featuring Anthony King, a song for the ladies. And, make sure you guys salute and check that out. Subscribe to our channel. We're trying to reach 16,000 subscribers here. Slowly building our channel up. Check out all the content, TZ's Tables, all the merch, more content coming, episodes every other week. Make sure you guys show love on that. Go to Fully Gimmicked and fullygimmick.com. Get all my merchandise. I'm going to be dropping some new merch ideas soon, but make sure you guys get the merch that is available now. My theme song King t-shirts, all the t-shirts that I have, the Legend t-shirt with my face on it. Make sure you guys go and get all the merchandise and show love. They always got good special deals. So cop a shirt and, show love to the brand. And also too, make sure you guys take care of yourselves out there. Last thing I want to say, take care of yourselves, stay healthy, get checkups, go to the doctor, get your checkups. It's real out here. Health is real. Health is wealth. I had to learn that the hard way. I have a condition called COPD. That is inflammation of the lungs, disease of the lungs. So it's like a stronger asthma. So there's certain things that I can't intake no more. Never was a smoker or a drinker, but there's certain things I can't intake. Get your blood pressure checked out. Take care of your family. You know what I mean? Like I always say on the show, wash your ass and stay high. Keep your hygiene up, and take care of yourself. Especially my men out there, all men of all races, not just black men, all men of all races. Go to get checked out. Take care of your families. Just keep. We're providers. Make sure you keep stress at a very low. If you need to talk to someone, pick up the phone and call somebody, and stay diligent on that as well. Take care of your families and keep the universe first. And no matter what religion or you do or do not believe in, follow me at TZ Jones on all platforms. TZ Jones. You can find me Instagram, Twitter. I hit back everybody up. I retweet. I'm not Hollywood, y'all. I'm not Hollywood. You know what I mean? I don't believe in being Hollywood. I believe in being the people's champion. I believe I've been the people's champion going on 8 years, and I'm going to continue to be the people's champion in this wrestling theme thing. So that's it, man. That's all I got for it.
Man, it was absolutely fantastic talking with you. And, we talked about how we like doing, the interviews. We both like the live interaction first, but like if we had done this live interview, it would have been 8, 10 minutes, 12 minutes backstage. And then one of us would have been, or both of us would have been busy doing other stuff. And I'm glad we had this hour to like really get to, indulge into a bunch of different topics. And I really do appreciate your time, and you're killing it out there. Super talented. I said it in, I don't know if you ever saw the interview I did with Katalina Perez, but when I mentioned you, I was like, the dude is super talented. I wish he was here tonight so we could talk. You're doing great stuff. Podcast.
Send me that link. Send me that link on Facebook. I'm gonna watch it. I didn't get a chance to see it. Send me that.
I will definitely. So you're killing it out there. And guys, if you haven't already, make sure you're checking out Monteasy on everything that he does. He's gonna be on the Jericho Cruise. He's gonna be in the AEW video game. We got more music coming out. The podcasts aren't stopping. So there's no shortage of new content coming from Monteasy here in the future.
Hey man, last thing I want to tell you, keep doing your thing, bro. Don't let nobody stop you. I enjoyed this podcast. I enjoy your energy, your perspective, your knowledge, how focused you are on what you're doing. It was very fun to be on here. Look forward to coming back soon. Stay on it, man. Don't let nothing discourage you. Keep this content up and stay working, brother. And the sky's the limit.
I appreciate it. Well, guys, I enjoyed this interview with Monteasy. Hope you guys did too. So if you like interviews like this and podcasts, because here on Toned In Entertainment, everybody has a story. As long as you're a good person, you have a story, and you're welcome here on the channel. So if you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit that red subscribe button so you can stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos. Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.